Hello and welcome to the third part in this look back at Parasite Eve II. In the last part we called for backup, but unfortunately backup wasn't available, so now in the end we were told that if there was any discarded weapons used by the SWAT members, we could use them. That will come into play a bit later on if I remember correctly, because there is quite a few weapons they do give you. So I'm just going to stock up, well, I was going to stock up on ammo, but it turns out I had enough. I was already full up on ammo, so I didn't really need to it. I think we have to go back to where we were in the last part and we can explore further if I remember correctly. These creatures coming up now really confuse me because there's a lot of rats and flies. Well, I say flies, I'm not entirely sure what they are, but I don't know if they're actually real rats or they're like created to be like rats. I really don't know the full story. It's kind of annoying that I haven't. I don't actually know if the first game would have the answers for that. I'm guessing so, but I could be wrong. As I said in some previous parts of this look back, it's not available. It was never released outside. Well, I think outside of Japan and North America. I could be wrong on that, but I think I know it was never released in Europe. The first game. It is on the American store, PlayStation Store, and they have done American imports because we've got the American version of Resident Evil 3 and 2. Even though they were European versions, but they decided to do the American versions, which I was quite chuffed with actually. So it's been done. It's just a shame they have never really brought it over here, Parasite Eve 1. It would really be great if they did, to be honest. But I know a lot of people have, at the moment, the European PlayStation stores really getting on a lot of people's nerves. Well, especially in the European territories, mainly, obviously. So I mean, I'm lucky. Most of the stuff I've wanted over the last few weeks has been on there. So, but I can see why people do get frustrated. But I'm not going to go into too much detail about that because yeah, I think a lot of people have got a lot of strong opinions on it. I really hate those things when they sort of bite you, because they do cause poison. But like in Final Fantasy VII, I think it's Final Fantasy VII. Once the battle's over, I think it might be a lot of Final Fantasies. There's some it sort of happens, some it doesn't. What'll happen is at the end of the battle, the poison disappears, and it's the same for this. Somebody had a lunch. I think there's something called a stim. I think it cures poison, which is always, I'm not sure, but I think it is. It's always quite handy for the longer battles, obviously. So they're always handy. Another status as well is paralyze or I can't say it, but you basically get paralyzed. I don't know why I can never say that word. Now, if I remember, there's a security room now. If I remember correctly. Ah, this looks familiar. Oh, I remember now. You've got to brighten the screen up and you see some SWAT officers and Rupert, if I'm correct. Yeah, there we go. I think that's where we entered the building. Or was that where we met the SWAT officer that gave us the key? I just said sweat officer there. That's some sort of law enforcement for people who sweat. No, I'm kidding. No, there's Rupert there. I don't think you find out what this guy was up to. I don't know. I can't remember. There might be a way. I can't remember. So hopefully we'll find out. But I really can't remember. I do hate that when you haven't played a game in such a long time and you just can't remember. Usually what I tend to do is play through them, but I really didn't have time. And I thought sometimes I think it's better when you don't play it through knowing what's going to happen That's kind of what I like to do with the Resident Evil games I did. But unfortunately, they just didn't get the views to start with, which, well, for me at the time wasn't a problem. To be honest, it's just one of those things. I think some channels do better than others. I think it's all about whether people like what you're doing or what if they don't really. But something I've always thought they should really do with YouTube is personally where if you leave a dislike on someone's video, not that I've got a problem with that, because I think that's, I like that you've got that feedback. It would just be nice to know why you had that dislike so you could sort of improve on it. I can see why people wouldn't want it though, because you don't want to be, if you just want to quickly do it. But then again, it is so easy to press like or dislike, so it would really be nice. I know you can leave a comment, which I still think is good. Well, I sometimes say it's good, sometimes it can be a bad thing, some of the comments I've seen on YouTube. But yeah, I think it would just be nice to know why that dislike was there, or why the like was, well, not so much the like. Well, actually, no, I do think as well with the likes, because then you can know what you're doing right. So it would be nice to know, but it's just one of those things. But what finished Resident Evil for me really was, I just got really bored with it, to be honest, and yeah, it just wasn't good. And I thought, well, if it's no one's watching it, I'm not enjoying it. There's no point to it. But I might revisit it, to be honest. It'd pretty much be the same with this. I mean, the first couple of videos haven't got massive views, but I'm not too worried about that. I'm quite enjoying playing the game, so I'm not really gonna stop doing it just because of that. Some of my videos started off with like no views, and they've got quite a few views now, so it just takes time. But I don't think views really indicate anything. I think likes and dislike indicate more than views, personally. But that's just my theory on it. But I am going to sort of just talk about some stuff I've got coming up. I'm planning, well, I was going to do it today, but I couldn't think of what level to show, so it'll probably be tomorrow. I've got some Tomb Raider stuff coming up. I'm going to be looking back at the old games, and I will do a playthrough of Anniversary, because it's kind of like a reboot, and it's my favourite Tomb Raider, to be honest, because I think it's January, or no, it's March the new one's out. I actually thought it was January, that's why I was going to do it earlier, but the rate on which I'm going to probably do it, it's just, I don't want another Resident Evil where I'm sort of running out of time, so I'm going to get on it earlier, just in case that those delays happen. Another thing I've got to continue with is my series of videos looking back at games that are 10 years old, because I thought I kind of covered quite a few, and there was a few that I couldn't get my hands on, and I've managed to get my hands on now, and there's a few that I didn't realise were games from 2002, so I'll be doing some of them. I've got Vice City, Grand Theft Auto coming up. I could not find a copy of that anywhere, and in the end I managed to get a really cheap one online, really good condition as well, so I was quite happy with that. Time Splitters 2, which I think is one of the best first person shooters ever, personally. I just love it. I think it's brilliant. I'm not entirely sure, but I've got a funny feeling, because I've heard that it was, and I thought it was 2001, Metal Gear Solid 2. I didn't actually realise that it was 2002. It came out over in the UK, I think, and Europe, so I will look into that. But I think if that's the case, how the hell did I miss that? Because that is one of the best games on PlayStation 2, in my opinion. Because I managed to get the HD collection really cheap the other week, because I didn't have Peace Walker, and for the price they were charging for it, and to buy Peace Walker on its own, it was worth it for me. And it's nice to see a HD lick of paint on it. HD never really does bother me, to be honest, but it is nice to see it. So if that is the case, I will be doing that as well. But I think that's really all the 2002 games that need covering, really. I mean, there's always going to be games that people love or hate, to be honest. But I just think that, that's the ones I sort of thought were worth mentioning, really. But I think if anybody's got any suggestions or anything that I've missed, it's always nice to get feedback on that, because it's always nice, as I said, because sometimes I do miss things. The only other thing I'm sort of looking into is doing some online matches on WWE 13, because I'm quite enjoying that at the moment. So I'll probably be doing stuff like that as well. I've nearly finished doing like finishing the offline stuff with Max Payne, like unlocking all the characters. So I'll probably do a return to that soon as well. Plus, I'll probably be just looking at some other online games that I've been playing as well. So just some stuff. Also, I'm going to finish up Tony Hawk 4 and all the other games that I started and haven't finished up. It's just, I know I've sort of sat down and did a schedule. I don't know if I can find it on my laptop actually, but I will sort of, I mean, it's not only a rough copy anyway, I can't find it at the minute, but I've put it somewhere. I did save it on here somewhere. But I sort of will just, do a schedule and, so I can sort of get that, because it's kind of annoying starting stuff, stopping, starting. So I'm going to try and get a schedule in place where I can do it on certain days. Because there's Sonic I want to get back on with, because I kind of got frustrated with that jungle level and just gave up, but I've managed to get past it now, so I can get that back going again. Just trying to think what else actually. Hogs of War I didn't finish, so I might see about whether I continue that or not. I really want to, because it's a really underrated game in my opinion. And I think really that's about it, to be honest. There might be some Devil May Cry stuff as well, because that's out in January. So I might be looking at some of that as well. So there's stuff, there's always going to be some good stuff coming. Well, I say good stuff. I think it'll be good stuff, but it probably won't be, knowing me. I actually think we get our first bit of discarded equipment in a minute. Because it's actually nice. It's a nice change. Because you really stick with that handgun for quite the majority of the first part of the game, and it is nice when you get to change it, because I think some of the other weapons, is what I think is really good about this game, is they have status impacts. Like, so say you've got, I think the gun we get in a minute's got a light on. Oh, I thought it was a gun, and it's actually body armor. But it's got a gun light switch, well, like a torch type thing on the gun, tactical light I think it's called. And you can use that, and it will like blind your enemy. It doesn't work on all enemies, but it works on quite a few of them. And I think it does sort of some damage to certain enemies as well, which I think is a really good idea. It kind of fits in well with the RPG element as well. So I kind of always loved that about it. I was actually looking up games for 2003 for next year's 10 Years On series, because I was just thinking about this actually while I was talking about projects that are coming up. There's quite a few games that shocked me actually. I think I have covered quite a few of them this year though. Oh no, I think that's only been SSX 3. So I don't know whether I need to do another video on that. One thing I'm really annoyed at though, I've seen Medal of Honor Rising Sun 49p in Game Station on the original Xbox. The problem with the Xbox 360 is it's not all backward. Not all games work backwards compatibly on it, so it is a little bit annoying. But I didn't realise it was 2003 at the time, so I would have took a shot at it. I mean, 49p is not a lot of money to lose, really. I think 2003 is probably one of my favourite years for gaming, actually. Anyway, back to the game. These enemies are really strange, because they do take a lot of bullets to put them down. Well, I say a lot, they take quite a few bullets. It's their long arms that are the problem, but they're not a really bad enemy to deal with. They're quite easy enough to deal with. They just can be a little bit frustrating. I think, if I'm correct now, we meet up with Rupert again. I think it's just in that door in here. Because we've seen him on the camera earlier, so... Yeah, that sounds like his gun. I don't know why he just really does remind me of Barry Burton. I think it's just because he's got the Magnum, to be honest. I call that guy the Darth Vader of Parasite Eve. He just reminds me of him with the heavy breathing. He doesn't look all that hurt though, does he? He just looks like he's a little bit, you know. Well, he doesn't look. He doesn't appear to be wounded, is what I'm trying to say. I actually can't remember if you find out more about. I'm not sure if it's a guy or a creature, but I think we do. He does appear quite a lot throughout the game, so you do see more of him, and it might be revealed then. I just can't remember. Oh, that's the red key. This unlocks quite a few more things now. I can't remember what it does actually. I remember there's a grenade launcher though coming up. And I think does it? I don't know if we picked it up. There is a machine gun somewhere as well. It might actually be out here, I think, if I remember correctly. Oh yeah, yeah. I think that's the guy there. He'll give you the machine gun I was talking about earlier with the tactical light, which is really handy. This gun's really good because it uses the same ammo as the handgun, so you might. I'm just going to sort of let you know because you might be hearing loud bangs. That's fireworks, unfortunately, which are out of my control. I don't know if you'll be able to hit them or not. I just thought I'd let you know, really, because I mean I've got my window shut, so you shouldn't really hear them, but I can't, you know. Oh, there's more of these. This bit, they're probably going to be really quite hard to fight here because it's such a narrow. Well, I say narrow, it's not that narrow, but it's not as much room as you'd like. I think it's just the key is keeping your distance and moving at the right time. I said earlier in the, I think it's the last part of the, I might have not said, I think I said it. I might have just been thinking it and not said it, but I was thinking about because at the end of each battle you get experience points. I couldn't figure out what that was about, and it turns out that that's how you do up your powers. I didn't realise that because I'd never seen her level 1, level 2 or anything like that, and I just couldn't think for the life of me what the experience was for. And through fiddling through the menu, I actually found out it was to upgrade your powers and learn new ones. So that's what it's for, if anybody was wondering. I can't remember if I did say about it or I was just thinking about it. I think I was just thinking about it or playing the other day. I didn't know the answer, so I probably wouldn't have said nothing about it. Do I leg it or do I stay and fight? I don't really like to run, really, but sometimes you just don't have that option. Oh, they're just so annoying, these things, with the way they move. I mean, with the MP issue, you don't want to tend to use too many of the special powers, really. But there's some really good ones that come on later on. You get a healing one, you get ones that make your bullets more stronger. There's one that lowers the enemy's defense. I can't remember the other ones. I think it's in the next part I show you how to upgrade them. Or it might be at the end of this part, because this part is drawing to a close. I think it'll be the next part, to be honest. Because I was standing in this area when I was fiddling about this, so I think it'd be in the next part, to be honest. That's the end for this part then, so thank you very much for watching.